Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, President Biden is calling for the resignation of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
And here in the Alamo City, 76 degrees to start your Wednesday morning. What does the rest of the day, what does the week look like? We're going to check in with Justin Horn in just a few moments. Good morning. I think it's August 4th.
Yes, it is. And it's Wednesday.
Sure. Yeah, it is
Middle
Wednesday.
Of the week. Yay,
Woo,
we made it.
Wednesday. We did. All right, so it's all downhill from here?
Yeah, it's good. It's your Friday, actually.
It is my Friday. Thank you so much for starting my Friday, your Wednesday with us. We're going to check in with Justin Horn. So, Justin, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even leave the apartment yesterday.
No?
I couldn't even tell you what the weather was like.
It was nice. I mean,
it wasn't bad.
Tolerable.
It was. We got into the low 90s, which felt a little bit hot, but we're spoiled this year.
Right.
93 seems hot. But we're going to have some more chances for rain today, better chances tomorrow. So we're still in this sort of wet pattern. We had some showers and storms overnight south of San Antonio. Places in Karnes County picked up close to 4 inches of rain overnight. The rain has since subsided a little bit, but we're still picking up on some showers and maybe a few thunderstorms there south of Kennedy, around Beeville, Cuero. I think in general we'll see these sort of die down a little bit, but even a few showers up around Forestville and Pleasanton. And here in San Antonio today, there is the chance for a few more downpours. Really heavy rain, too, along the Texas coast. I should point that out. A lot of lightning just north of Rockport. And I mentioned some of those rainfall totals. Estimates 3 to 4 inches there, just east of Pleasanton. So it was a busy night. And the forecast today will keep temperatures probably in the 80s, maybe low 90s by this afternoon. Right now we're at 76 at the airport, 73 Tarpley. And we'll call for about a 30% chance of rain in the afternoon here in San Antonio, topping out somewhere around 92 degrees for high northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. As I mentioned, better chances of rain tomorrow. We'll dig into that forecast in just a bit. But let's go over to Steven now and check in on your morning commute.
Hey, thanks, Justin. You know, it's 4:32 right now on the clock, and we're already seeing flashing lights here at the shot at TransGuide 35 at New Braunfels. Let's go ahead and take a close look as we walk over and show you how things are looking right now. If we can get the camera to move with us so we can show everybody what's going on over here. Well, we'll talk what's going on. It looks like it's probably right there on the frontage roads of 35, but giving you a closer look at the map, it does look like this is right at 35 northbound at Walsham, and thankfully it's still early enough to where we're not seeing any big delays with regards to traffic this hour. But nonetheless, when you see those flashing lights, be sure to move over and slow down for our first responders. Let's go ahead and talk a stall happening here off Loop 1604 westbound at Bulverde Road. Same issue, guys. We're not seeing any delays when it does come to traffic, thankfully, but be sure to check those vehicles before getting out on the roadways because we do tend to see stalls as the morning does continue to pick up. But right now it is quiet, seeing a little bit of a slowdown there off 35 coming into San Antonio. But right now the inbound times are looking pretty good right now. 26 minutes coming in from I-10 and Bernie. And if you're going to be traveling from Bulverde right now on 281, we're looking at a 29-minute commute time to the downtown San Antonio area. And coming in from New Braunfels on 35, we got 26 minutes. But taking one last look here at TransGuide, we're going to be watching this crash closely and give you any updates as they become available. Max, Steph?
Thank you, Stephen. Here's the latest in the punishment phase of the Otis McCain trial. Today, victim impact statements are set to take place in that case. There are only 2 choices for the jury. The man convicted of killing San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi can either be sentenced to death by lethal injection or get life without parole. A San Antonio police officer who worked alongside Marconi and the detective's family are scheduled to take the stand. Those statements are set to begin at 9 a.m. The jury will be expected to come to a verdict once all the statements are made. You can continue to follow the stream of the trial online at KSAT.com.
In your morning headlines, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, once a rising star in the Democratic Party, now facing growing pressure to resign. This comes after an investigation released by the state's attorney general said that the governor was found to have sexually harassed 11 women.
President Joe Biden and many other lawmakers now taking a stand. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has the latest.
This morning, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is facing new calls to resign after a bombshell report into sexual harassment claims against him.
Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women and in doing so violated federal and state law.
Overnight, the governors of 4 Northeast states releasing a joint statement saying they're, quote, appalled at the findings of the independent investigation, adding that Cuomo should resign. Also calling for Cuomo to resign, both New York senators, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and President Joe Biden.
I think he should resign.
The investigation released by New York Attorney General Letitia James found 11 women were telling the truth when they said the governor had touched them inappropriately. In a pre-recorded statement, Cuomo remained defiant.
I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances.
The governor also defended his history of greeting people affectionately, showing pictures of himself kissing people on the cheek.
I actually learned it from my mother and from my father. It is meant to convey warmth, nothing more.
Monaco Sarabdi, ABC News, New York.
And this morning, new COVID cases now averaging more than 85,000 every day, the highest in months. Cases in children also nearly doubled, 72,000 cases confirmed just last week. President Biden now calling the rise of the Delta variant a largely preventable tragedy that will get worse before it gets better. And the list of businesses requiring employees to get the vaccine also growing by the day.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has issued a new moratorium on evictions that would last until October 3rd. The Biden administration is trying to quell intensifying criticism that it was allowing vulnerable renters to lose their homes during a pandemic. The new moratorium could help keep millions in their homes as the coronavirus's Delta variant has spread and states have been slow to release federal rental aid. It would temporarily halt evictions in counties with substantial and high levels of virus transmissions and would cover areas where 90% of the U.S. population lives.
And as COVID continues to get worse, it looks like Wall Street is just getting better. They're hoping for a continuance in an upward trend after stocks had a great day yesterday. The Dow and S&P 500 both reaching record highs, bouncing back from moderate losses to start the week. The Dow gained nearly 300 points to close the day, 35,116, and the S&P gaining nearly 36 points. The Nasdaq finishing 80 points higher as well. Time now just about 4:37, 76 degrees out.
And are you thinking about homeschooling your child for the first time? Coming up next, we're talking with a local expert about what you need to know before becoming a teacher to your kids.
Plus, we are in the middle of a free agency bonanza. Lots of Spurs players leaving, lots of new ones coming in. We're going to give you a rundown of what is next for the Silver and Black.
And taking a look outside with live cam, no rain in that shot right there. We're at 76 degrees. Looks like that rain might be coming to the end, at least for the most part. We'll be checking in with Justin pretty soon.
Go Spurs, go. And got to say, whoa, big news overnight in the wee hours of the morning. The Spurs now bringing back now NBA champ Bryn Forbes. But the Spurs, well, we are saying goodbye to three familiar faces, none more painful than the Spurs faithful Patty Mills. Mills endeared himself to more than Spurs fans. He was a team and community leader. Patty agreed to a 2-year, $12 million deal, suiting up for the Brooklyn Nets. With his departure goes the last member of that 2014 Spurs championship squad and the 2013 team that made it to the NBA Finals. But with one Australian out, another one comes in. The Spurs signed an Australian big man, Jock Landale, a 2-year contract, according to The Athletic. There he is right there, number 13, a 6'11 center. Right now he's playing with Patty in the Olympics. Also, another sad goodbye. Got to say bye to Rudy Gay. He has agreed to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Utah Jazz. At 34 years old, Gay leaves the Spurs after 4 seasons. Can't believe it's been that long. But here we go, guys. Sad to see him go. Number 10. Ooh. Biggest deal for so many of our Spurs fans. There he goes, DeMar DeRozan. He is headed to Chicago, but he didn't leave us empty-handed. He signed a sign-and-trade deal that would have DeMar suit up for the Bulls. 3 years, $85 million contract. We got a couple guys, a couple trade assets, draft picks. So there we go. The future could be bright. We're going to start this youth movement here in San Antonio.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Now to talk missions. Some missions baseball. After falling behind early, the missions big 2 comeback attempts to the last second half of the game. But sadly, guys, they fell short. They dropped the opening game of the series to Corpus Christi at Nelson Wolff Stadium last night. Final score 6-3. But don't worry, series continues tonight, 7:05. And of course, it goes through Sunday. I got to say, though, going back to the Spurs, a lot of stuff happening, a lot of moving parts. DeJounte Murray, though, He did tweet out, just wait what we have to show you this coming season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the Spurs because, you know, we love our Spurs, but I'm really sad about Patty.
I know. Patty and DeMar, a couple locker room leaders, but we'll see. Wish them the best of luck, but of course,
yeah, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. 442, 76 degrees out.
And still ahead, starting up a homeschool curriculum can be tough, but we're going to talk with a local expert about what you can expect.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Wednesday. As students get ready to go back to school, a lot of students in the San Antonio area, they're getting ready for homeschool.
There are about 750,000 students who are homeschooled in Texas, and that number has increased drastically in the past year. Sarah Costa joins us live in the studio to explain that increase and how to get started if your family is thinking about going the homeschool route. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, and there's a lot of questions if you really don't know anything about homeschooling, but a local nonprofit is here to kind of guide you through that. So whether it was because of the pandemic or more families have decided to keep their children at home, the number of families choosing to go the homeschool route has increased by a lot in the past year. So we spoke with a nonprofit in San Antonio that provides resources and guides families through the homeschool process called Family Educators Alliance of South Texas, or known as FEAST. Rose Fallbush, a resource specialist for FEAST, says there are laws under the umbrella of homeschooling that some families have trouble understanding or are not sure about, so that's where FEAST steps in. She says they are there to help them understand those rules and regulations. She says they have had about a 300% increase in the number of families interested in homeschooling this last year.
While I'm on the phone talking with one parent and giving them information, 2 or 3 calls are coming in. And so when we're calling them back, emails are coming in. We're getting people, walking in asking for information, and it's been busy.
She says the biggest misconception about homeschooling is that there's a difference between public school at home and homeschooling. So public school at home, the students are using a program that's tied to the public school system. They have to take the STAR test. They have to follow Texas Education Agency curriculum. They have to follow the public school schedule. You have teachers teaching the subjects and keeping track of grades. Now, homeschooling, she explains, the parents get to choose the curriculum and the scheduling, are responsible for recording and keeping up with grades, keeping up with documentation for transcripts and a diploma. So coming up in our next half hour, I'll talk about one of the biggest concerns parents have with homeschooling, how to teach your child the sometimes complicated high-level subjects. Guys?
Thank you, Sarah. Despite districts laying out plans, some parents may still have questions about health and safety. That's why later this morning, we are hosting a KSAT Community Back to School virtual town hall. We're going to be talking with local educators, doctors, psychologists, and community leaders to answer your questions about what school will look like this fall. So you can head to KSAT.com and look for this article to submit your question. Then you can tune in online today. That's at 7:30 a.m. to get it answered. This live stream will focus on pre-K through grade school students. Another live stream scheduled for August 11th will focus on middle school and high school students.
All right, and we know a lot of people getting ready to go back to school. A lot of people getting ready to go out the door. We're going to check in with Stephen Cavazos. Stephen, last time we checked in, you said there was a crash at 35 in New Braunfels?
That's a shot here at TransGuide, Max. And, we just saw a few flashing lights. Looks like the crash may have just cleared as you were talking to us over here. Right now, that crash was reported here from this shot at TransGuide. We saw it there on what appeared to be the frontage road lanes, but taking a closer look on the map, that was actually at 35 northbound at Walsham Road. And again, still early enough to where we're not seeing those delays because of a crash like this. But nonetheless, if you're going to be heading out the door in the next few moments, be sure to be cautious when you're driving this morning. But we've been seeing a pretty quiet start as we're getting this hump day going here. But nothing too major to report, but something to be on your radar for. Some construction that's going to be going out there off US 90. Now, what's going on is some lighting installation. Now, the westbound exit ramp to southbound 35 is going to be closed because of that process. Again, this is out at US 90. It's going to be happening later this evening. That's August 4th. Up until tomorrow, it's going to be overnight from 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning. But one last look at TransGuide where this crash was reported. It looks like it has since cleared, but we're going to be watching the roads closely and seeing how this day gets going, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. And I know it got up to the 90s yesterday, but it still didn't feel that bad.
No, it wasn't. And did I hear you guys mention back to school? Is that already happening?
Next week on Monday.
Jeez.
SAISD.
Town hall today. Are you ready, Justin?
I'm ready. Well, no, but isn't it early this year? Are we starting early, or is that just me? I don't know.
Yes and no.
Summer flew by. Time flies when you're having fun.
That's true.
Yeah, time flies too when you're getting all this rain and it's not super hot. It hasn't felt a whole lot like summer, right? We're getting a little bit more rain this morning. Now, the heavy rain that we've seen earlier has since dissipated. We had some really good rainfall, and I'll show you the estimated rainfall totals here in just a second down towards Karnes County. But you'll notice the shower activity really is starting to kind of move away. I do want to focus in here on Uvalde, though. We have one little cell, no lightning strikes, so this is really just rain, but this may cross over Highway 90 right there. That is newly developed just within the last 10 to 15 minutes. And then the rain around Kennedy, yes, has let up. Just maybe one little shower down there around Beeville. And then a little bit of activity starting to redevelop around Pleasanton. There's still a frontal boundary down there. It's still going to give some lift, and there will be a chance for some additional development this afternoon. This is the radar estimate that I was talking about, 24-hour rainfall estimate, and we're looking at about 3 to 4 inches right in that corridor right there. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but between Pleasanton over towards Kennedy, right there between 37 and then the Kennedy area and north towards Forestville. So some good rains overnight. That was an area that didn't get a lot of rain last couple of days, so there was really not a whole lot of a flooding threat, and that's good. Outside right now, we've got clear skies at the airport. 76, easterly winds at about 3. Dew point is at 73. We're down into 60s around Comfort, so comfortable there. 76 Canyon Lake, 75 New Braunfels, 77 in Hondo. Why are you laughing, Max?
That was a good joke. I like the punny.
Well, it happens. We've used it before, but yes, comfortable in Comfort. 80 in Del Rio, 76 in Uvalde, and dew points are in the 70s area-wide. So the dew points are going to stay up. This has been the case most of the summer. So here's the all-important forecast. As we go into 5 o'clock today, a couple of showers and storms. And just like yesterday, the favorite areas are going to be south of San Antonio. That's where that frontal boundary is located. And as we get into tomorrow, I think our rain chances come up a little bit. A couple of things to watch. Little disturbance coming in from the west. We also have another little disturbance coming in from the north. If these things can kind of time out together, I think our rain chances will be pretty good here in San Antonio. Right now, we're shooting for about a 40% chance, but we may see some of this activity work through San Antonio during the afternoon and the evening hours. A lot of this will depend on outflow boundaries as well. Rain chances at about 30% today. And very quickly, I want to touch on the tropics because we have a couple of areas that we're watching out in the Atlantic. None that are of pressing concern right now. Just a 10% chance with this area and a 20% chance over the next 5 days with this area. It's way out here, just off the coast of Africa. And there's still quite a bit of dust. This shows that Saharan dust. As long as that dust is there, it really suppresses a lot of our tropical activity. So it's been a little quieter last couple of weeks. But if we do get a name storm, it would be Fred, by the way. 91 tomorrow, 40% chance of rain. 93 Friday, 20%. And then hot and humid this weekend. And because you guys mentioned back to school, I went ahead and threw the app on the book there.
Nice.
Yes. Can't believe I'm doing that, but there we are.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, Justin, I got to give you credit. Stephen Cavazos, too. You guys are so creative.
Creative.
Comfortable and comfort. Is it all green coming from Seguin?
Yes, but we're getting to Seguin in a minute. You can't give away the goods yet.
Deep tease. That's where we're going with it.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin. 4:53, 76 degrees out.
And coming up next, a big birthday for former President Barack Obama and a closer look at the new Suicide Squad movie.
Good morning and welcome back. The new Suicide Squad movie is ready to launch.
Plus, former President Barack Obama is celebrating a big birthday for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood. Here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
The Suicide Squad, the latest big Hollywood movie to have an in-person premiere. The stars assembling in Los Angeles for the superhero sequel. John Cena, new to the cast, playing the character Peacemaker, and he showed up in costume.
They're so flawed as characters, and we always want to root for people to improve, and I think that's what makes this journey special, is you take a bunch of criminals and give them a chance to be virtuous and see who's genuinely got some good in there and who's genuinely a bad person.
The Suicide Squad premieres Friday in theaters and on HBO Max. A couple more festivals canceling DaBaby, the iHeartRadio Music Festival and Austin City Limits both booting him off the bill. This after 3 other festivals, including Lollapalooza, said so long to the rapper. The most recent cuts come after DaBaby put out another apology Monday, calling his comments over the past week and a half about the gay community and HIV and AIDS hurtful, triggering, and misinformed. The Sundance Film Festival, the latest big Hollywood get-together that will require proof of a COVID vaccination. The director of the Park City, Utah event making the announcement Tuesday, the festival takes place the last 10 days of January. And happy birthday to former President Barack Obama. The politician turned content creator is 60 today, while actress turned Duchess Meghan Markle is 40. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, time now, 4:57, 76 degrees out.
And as kids get ready to go back to school, new COVID cases in the U.S. are now averaging about more than 85,000 per day. Details on a special phone bank we're hosting later today.
And a lot of people using online dating sites through this pandemic. We'll tell you what Tinder is now saying about an up-and-coming trend. That's next in Tech Bites.
And crazy video from Dodger Stadium. There's a ball right in the camera lens. That's ahead on GMSA at 6.
Oh my God, that's an expensive out of foul ball.
Yes, definitely.
Taking a live look out there at the roadways, 410 and McCullough. Not too many people out and about. If you are though, drive safe, be smart. We're gonna check in with Stephen Cavazos in just a few moments.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
COVID hospitalizations are on the rise, and so are cases in children. I'm Alex Bechet. Coming up, the latest on the mask mandate debate from Washington.
And taking a look outside with a live cam this morning, we are at 76 degrees and we got up to the low 90s yesterday. It might have seemed a little warm for some people, but you know what? We've been spoiled, so it wasn't too bad.
Good morning. It is 5:01 this Wednesday morning, August 4th. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. Did you make it out and about yesterday?
I did a little bit. I mean, I didn't, go for a long run, so I wasn't in the heat for that long, but just running errands, it was comfortable for the most part.
Yeah, Justin, are we expecting kind of the same thing today or maybe a possibility of showers?
Almost the same thing. We're going to get quite a bit of cloud cover, I think, off and on, and that'll keep temperatures in check. We're still talking low 90s, but that's better than the alternative. And right now, temperatures are in the 70s. We've been watching some rain showers to our south. 76 at the airport right now. Some 60s on the map up around Kerrville, 70 in Rock Springs. It's a good start. And the forecast calls for about a 30% chance of rain today. We should make it up to about 92. Look at tomorrow, 40% chance of rain. So both days, you want to grab your umbrella just in case. We're not seeing anything imminent, so nothing for your morning commute, but we certainly could see some activity during the afternoon hours. Radar right now does reveal some showers down there around Pleasanton. That's new activity in Atascosa County, and a couple showers out near Uvalde. And you'll notice the big cluster of storms down there along the coast. That's producing quite a bit of lightning around Rockport, just northeast of Rockport. But there is the shower activity around Pleasanton and then around Uvalde. That's where we have one little heavy downpour crossing over Highway 90. Meantime, some showers around Kennedy and then a few downpours right along 37 or just to the west of 37 showing up on radar this morning. Some heavy rain earlier around Kennedy that has since dissipated. Forecast for today, we mentioned that 30% chance of rain. I'd say mainly between 2 and 5 o'clock. You'll top out around at 92. It'll feel a little bit warmer than that because we are still very humid. We'll zero in on those rain chances tomorrow and talk the weekend forecast too here in just a few minutes. But Steven's been tracking a few issues on the roadways. Let's check in with him now.
Hey, thanks, Justin. Thankfully, things are looking pretty good. We did have a few issues out on the roadways this morning, and those issues have since resolved. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these shots from TransGuide. Loop 410 at Fredericksburg. Not a lot of people, I should say, are out on the roads right now. 37 at Hackberry. Looks like it's getting a little bit busier, but again, not very many folks out on the roads, but we're going to be watching things closely here. So let's go ahead and take a look right now at the map. We're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown here right at 410. You see a little bit of orange there, but thankfully right now these inbound times we're seeing a lot of green on the screen. And if you're coming in from Seguin, 29 minutes is what you'll see on I-10. And if you're coming in from 87 in Livernia, we got 22 minutes for you right now and 29 minutes coming in from Floresville. So again, some of those issues that we did spot were was a crash and some stalled vehicles. Again, thankfully those have resolved, but we're watching things closely. Just drive safe and we'll got your back here in the Traffic Lab. Max, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. Well, the urgency in the battle against the Delta variant intensifying as cases in children now skyrocketing.
And President Biden urging businesses to take precautions. ABC's Alex Bechet has the latest from Washington.
This morning, the Delta variant fueling a summer surge of COVID-19 infections across the country. Look at these numbers. 56,000 people are hospitalized with COVID, the most since February. COVID amongst kids on the rise, too. Cases in children have nearly doubled in the last week to 72,000.
The troubling part of this is that we're in early August. And with fall sports and school around the corner, that could be obviously a very potent combination.
In an effort to fight those rising cases, New York City, once the epicenter of COVID, will soon become the first city in the country to require proof of vaccination for a range of indoor activities. President Biden urged private sector businesses to require vaccinations as well.
But I will have their backs and the backs of other private public sector leaders if they take such steps.
The president singled out Florida and Texas, where cases have risen sharply. ABC News has learned that the FDA is planning to give full authorization of the Pfizer vaccine in early September. It's sooner than initially expected and could inspire more Americans to get vaccinated. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
And if you still have a lot of questions about the vaccine, today is your chance to ask. You can call into our KSAT Community Phone Bank. We are joined with Dr. Teresa Barton from University Health. That phone bank from 5 to 7 this evening. We're going to provide the number to call on KSAT.com and in our other newscasts a little later today.
The daughter of a Northside ISD teacher who was found dead last month wants her mother to be remembered for the life she lived. Bexar County deputies found the body of 57-year-old Carla Lynn Boyd at her home on White Mulberry last month. Boyd taught math at Connolly Middle School. Her daughter Amanda says Carla loved her family, loved her job as a teacher, and loved her students.
Phone conversations and just being with her in general. Seeing her be a grandma, that's what I'll miss most.
Bexar County Sheriff's deputies discovered Boyd's body. They began searching for a relative who they say was living with her. They believe that person may have been connected to the crime. At first, deputies listed him as missing, but they later found out that that person was dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in another state 2 days later. Deputies say the investigation is ongoing.
Time now 5:06, 76 degrees out.
And still ahead, another big tech company says it will require proof of vaccination for employees.
And are you thinking about homeschooling your children? Well, obviously it can be a challenge, but there is a reward. Now, we'll tell you what you need to know next.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're at 76 degrees and we're expecting it to warm up a little, especially this weekend. We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. Families interested in homeschooling has gone up 300% in South Texas in just the last year. That's according to the nonprofit called Feast. That nonprofit actually helps families through the homeschooling process.
Sarah Costa spoke with one of the nonprofit specialists about some of the hesitations that families may have about going the homeschool route. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, there's a lot of questions when you're trying to get started on the homeschool route, and that's why Feast is here to help out those families. And one of the biggest concerns some parents have when it comes to deciding whether or not to go the homeschool route is if they can actually teach some of those tough subjects. So I spoke with Rose Fallbush, a resource specialist with the Family Educators Alliance South Texas, or known as Feast. She says parents are always asking, how are they going to teach high school physics and chemistry? She says parents are concerned about teaching at that high level and not having a lab. Fallbush says Feast can provide you with the right resources to help you when it comes to those tough subjects, especially at the high school level.
There are so many things out there to help you when it comes to, I'm not sure how to teach this part. One of those is co-ops. So my son had a fabulous co-op teacher. And so what a co-op teacher is basically a tutor. And he met with her once a week, he and a small group of kids. And she facilitated that learning, gave them work to do for the rest of the week. And he flourished with that.
She explains that when you homeschool, you are in charge of choosing the curriculum, so you can make adjustments to fit your family and your child's needs. She also says you end up becoming a learning facilitator to your child as they go through the process, so you also end up learning. Now, she says since parents are the teachers for their children when it comes to homeschool, you also have to decide, this is my child's future. How much am I willing to put into the work? So coming up in our next half hour, I speak with Fallbush about how homeschool students can also still have a social life. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Despite districts laying out plans, some parents may still have questions about health and safety. That's why later this morning, we're going to be hosting a KSAT Community Back to School virtual town hall. We're going to be talking with local educators, doctors, psychologists, and community leaders to answer your questions about what school will look like this fall. So you can head to KSAT.com and look for this article to submit your question. Then you can tune in online today at 7:30 a.m. to get that question answered. This live stream will focus on pre-K through grade school students.
All right, time now is 5:12, 76 degrees out.
And still ahead, Apple's online store has emerged from a downtime with a brand new look.
And next, Tinder releasing new data on how many people have decided to date during this pandemic. We're going to break it down.
Why hide your skin? Moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By hitting eczema where it counts, Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of eczema. And that means long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief for adults.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can show more with less eczema. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can change how your skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice. Talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
Good morning and welcome back. Another big tech company announcing a vaccine mandate. That's right. ABC's Mona Karsar Abdi has the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Microsoft is the latest tech giant to mandate vaccines. The company's 100,000 U.S. employees, vendors, and visitors will be required to show proof of vaccination to enter its buildings. Microsoft is also pushing back its reopening date 1 month to October. Apple's new online store has a new look. The site was down for about an hour Tuesday, but returned with some new features. The new store webpage resembles the Apple Store app on iPad and iPhone. Apple has also restored the old dedicated store tab in the navigation bar. And it appears dating apps are hotter than ever, even in the pandemic. Tinder says 2020 was the busiest year ever for its app. The company tripled its profit from the previous year. And Tinder says nearly 50% of users who have tried the new video chat feature, which rolled out last month, guess the other 50% are going on real dates. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
All right, well, back here in the Alamo City, 517 this morning. Not too many people out and about on the roadways yet.
No, at last check of the TransGuide cameras, things were looking okay, Stephen.
Yeah, you know, they're looking pretty good right now. I was watching the shots here at TransGuide. There was a little bit of a slowdown that we saw at Loop 410 at Villa Main, and you can see here that we do have a few vehicles that are out on the roadway there, but I see a little bit of a stretch of lights, and on our maps we saw a lot of orange out there a little bit earlier, but taking a look right now, it looks like that has since resolved, and traffic's actually moving pretty good right now. 70 miles per hour there at Loop 410 eastbound at 37. Again, pretty quiet right now, and that's a good way to start this Wednesday. As you can see here, our map doesn't show really a lot going on. We've been checking the TxDOT sites, we've been checking the fire pages, and right now it's been a quiet morning, and we're going to be keeping our fingers crossed that it does stay that way. But as you can see here, again, based on the map and what we're looking at, it's a good time to go grab that cup of coffee, maybe iced coffee. But Loop 410 at Villa Main, yeah, getting a little bit busier right now, but we're watching the roads closely. A good time to head out again, and again, right now, those issues that we did spot have since resolved, and things are moving pretty good right now, I think.
That's good news. But heat behind you.
Yes. And by the way, I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm still wrapping my mind around this whole school starting thing. And I was just thinking, Stephen's going to be a really busy man.
Oh, gosh, with the bus routes,
traffic, it's all happening.
You'll be busy too, getting your girls ready for school.
Yes, back to the bus forecast. It's already here. Okay, let's take a look at the forecast for today. 92 here in San Antonio. It's going to feel like 96. So this yellow number you see to the right, which I know the text is kind of small there, but that is the heat index this afternoon. What the main takeaway is from this map is that temperatures are below average in a lot of spots here across Texas. It's been the case most of the summer, and that'll be the case again today. Some 80s Still for places out in West Texas, that's pretty unheard of this time of year. Here's the current setup. We have a frontal boundary draped across South Texas. It's right along that boundary where we'll get our best chances for rain, not only this morning, but through the afternoon. That's not to say we couldn't see some activity here in San Antonio. It's possible, but as you go north of town, the rain chances really do taper off a little bit because that front remains a focus for us. You see some of the shower activity there around Pleasanton. We've had some showers pop up. That's actually just to the west of Campbellton. And then also we've got some showers out around Uvalde. Heaviest of the rain is right along the coast, getting a lot of lightning strikes with this little cluster here just north and east of Rockport, and that's moving northeast. Not much here in San Antonio other than maybe a few sprinkles, and that would be on the southeast side of town, noticing a few very light returns there. Live cam tells us that skies are mostly clear, at least at the moment. 76 at the airport, 78 Stinson, 77 Kelly, 75 Randolph. Winds generally pretty light. 69 Comfort, 75 Canyon Lake, 75 New Braunfels, 74 Divine. We're getting off to a pretty nice start. There are some 60s in the hill country, and then it ranges all the way up to the upper 70s as you get down towards Katua. Very muggy morning too. Here's what the forecast looks like. And this is just one of our computer models, but I think it handles this pretty well. 5 o'clock today shows isolated to maybe scattered showers and storms south of San Antonio. Here in town, I'd give us about a 30% chance of rain. If you're north of town, probably 20% chance, and down to the south, probably about a 40% shot. As we get into tomorrow, a couple things happen. We get a little disturbance that comes in from the west. We have another one coming in from the north. These two things I think are going to enhance our rain chances just a little bit. And I want to watch for some pockets of heavy rain tomorrow. It's hard to sort of pinpoint where that will be, but I think initially it starts to the south and west of San Antonio, and then we see some of that work towards town during the afternoon. So downpours, a little better chance tomorrow. Forecast for today, 86 noontime, 20% chance of rain, then a 30% shot, 2 o'clock through 5 o'clock. Temperatures up around 92. Heat index will be in the mid-90s. The rain chances this week, 40% Thursday, 20% Friday. And if you've got weekend plans, all looks good. Things dry out and temperatures warm up. So if it's the last weekend before you head to school, I know some school districts, as we mentioned, start back Monday. Good weekend to go swimming, do whatever you want to do. Temperatures will be pretty toasty, actually close to average. We're at our peak as far as average temperatures go. This is when we would typically see our hottest temperatures. So far, we've been below average.
Not
for
too
a good
bad.
stretch.
Yeah. I think you're right about the weekend and swimming. Last chance for the kids.
I was going to say, you got the apple in the book up. This is the last weekend for a lot of kids this summer.
I mean, they can still go swimming during the school year.
That's true. That's a good point.
Right.
But do your homework.
Yes.
I don't know why I threw that out. I feel like that was a dad comment.
No, that was good. I like that.
Do your homework,
Yes.
kids.
And focus on your studies.
That's right.
Great
job.
Man, I'm old. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Justin. 522, 75 degrees out.
Up next in your morning spotlight, a major film festival now requiring vaccinations, plus a first look at Camila Cabello as Cinderella.
And take a look at those lotto numbers. Pick 3, 483, Fireball 0, Daily 4, 8, 3, 5, 1, Fireball 5.
Cash 5, 2, 8, 17, 33, 34. And your Mega Millions, 1, 9, 17, 27, 34, Mega Ball 24, Mega Flyer 2.
We know Mike Osterhage played yesterday. He's not here at work today. What does that tell you?
No, he was scheduled to be off.
Good morning and welcome back in today's Morning Spotlight. A triple dose of movie news, now including the dose you'll need to attend a famous film festival. See what we did there?
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Try to be.
Like that, producer Hardy. CNN's David Daniel has a prescription in the Hollywood Minute.
If you're heading to Sundance next year, pack your warm clothes and your proof of vaccination. The film festival is requiring that everyone in attendance is vaccinated against COVID-19. The festival, January 20th to 30th, will also offer its films digitally for fans at home. Kerry Washington is ready to hang 10. She's set to star in and produce a film based on Diane Cardwell's memoir, Rockaway, Surfing Headlong into a New Life. Washington will play the journalist assigned a story at New York's Rockaway Beach, where she discovers the allure and power of surfing.
Where did you get that dress? I designed it.
I pick you to be my princess.
What about my work? I don't want a life stuck waving from a royal box any more than a life confined to a basement.
A classic story gets its latest update in the new trailer for Cinderella. Camila Cabello plays an aspiring dressmaker looking to make her own way in the world. The cast of the musical includes Idina Menzel, Pierce Brosnan, and Billy Porter. Cinderella arrives on Amazon Prime September 3rd. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, what are you thinking?
Looks cute.
All right, I'll see it.
Yeah.
That works for me.
With Rooney.
Yeah, there you go. See, you have a daughter. You have an excuse to see it. I'm just the weirdo watching Cinderella. All right, 527, 75 degrees out.
And still ahead on GMSA, the FDA says it's working as fast as possible to fully approve Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. What that approval could mean for children.
Plus, more problems for Spirit Airlines. We're going to explain how many flights are already canceled for today.
If these walls could talk, they'd tell you about a musician, a brother, a friend. Instead, I'll do that. I'm Katrina Weber. That story's coming up.
Right now on GMSA, the United States one step closer to approving another major vaccine. What that means for parents hoping to get their children vaccinated.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're at 75 degrees. The chance of storms, not so much for the San Antonio area, but the heat will be picking up.
Good morning. It is a Wednesday, August 4th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. We know that you have the big back to school town hall today.
Yes.
And we know Justin Horn already telling kids to do their homework.
Yeah, because school's next week. It starts for, well, a lot of students at least.
As soon as I said that, I thought to myself, man, I am so lame.
No, I loved it. Full dad status is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We need to be responsible also.
Yes. As soon as you get home, before the TV, homework.
Exactly.
Anyway, I posted this yesterday. Man, there was a lot of people upset about it. 17,080. That was the mold count. Very high. Just the messenger here. We'll see where it ends up today. My hope is that it comes down a little bit, but these rains have kept the mold counts pretty sizable numbers. Looking at the radar right now, we have some showers and storms. Earlier, we had some very heavy rain across parts of Karnes and Atascosa counties. That has since dissipated a little bit. We still do have some showers south of Pleasanton, and I'll zoom in on those. This is generally west of I-37, south of Charlotte, where we're seeing some of those downpours. Nothing severe this morning, but you could get a good, quick downpour. Had a couple of very light returns trying to work into Barry County. Those have since gone away. A couple of sprinkles possible here in town, but we're not looking for a messy commute by any stretch of the imagination. And then one little shower west of Uvalde as well. This will be the case as we get into the afternoon. Once we get some heating, we should get some more activity on the radar. 20% chance rain through lunchtime, then 30% chance this afternoon. Temperatures will be up around 92 for a high. It'll feel a little bit warmer than that thanks to the humidity, northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Steven, some dry roads out there. Any issues that you're seeing?
No issues right now. Actually, it's a pretty good start to Wednesday. We've been talking about how smooth the roads are looking right now. 221 at Hildebrand. You can see not a lot of people out right now, but we do have a few folks there at 410 at Villa Main. We showed you a slowdown. We showed you some crashes and even a few stalls, but those have since resolved. And again, the morning's looking pretty green at this hour, as you can see reflected here on our maps right now. But things to keep on your radar is going to be some construction that is going to be going on. More lighting installation here off northbound exit ramp to westbound I-10. They're at I-37 that is in central San Antonio. Now what's going on there? Again, they're going to be doing some lighting installation. It's been going on already from August 3rd, Tuesday. That was yesterday. Should be wrapping up today, later this evening, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. So again, something to keep on your radar if you're going to be driving through that area, but it should be wrapping up again later today. But the inbound times looking pretty good right now as well. As you can see, pretty green here. If you're coming in from Pleasant Drive, 28 minutes on 37, 17 minutes from Lotto. We're looking at 35 on Highway 35, that is. And Highway 90, we got 19 minutes coming in from Castroville. One last look at TransGuide, I-10 at Proban. Yeah, looking pretty good right now, but of course, we'll be watching things closely. Max, Stephanie?
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, police tell us a triple shooting on the southeast side ends with one woman dead and two others in critical condition.
And Jonathan Cotto joins us live now. Jonathan, have police been able to tell you anything about this shooting?
Well, Stephanie, information is very limited at this time, but police say this all started after some type of domestic fight. Here's a look at what that scene looked like earlier. Police say during that fight, a woman who they believe to be in her late 20s was shot and was found dead on arrival. What we know so far is that police responded to this scene off of Roddy Road near 1604 on the southeast side of Bexar County. Police say one man was shot in the chest and has been taken to BAMC in critical condition. The other man was shot in the face and was airlifted to BAMC and is also said to be in critical condition. Elmendorf Police Department, Bexar County Sheriff's Office, along with Wilson County and Arcadian EMS were on scene. Police say the man who they believe was the suspect, they believe to have killed the woman and shot the other two men, fled the scene in a black sedan. Of course, the identities of the victims have not yet been released, and this case remains under investigation. Reporting, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Now to the latest in the pandemic. This morning, we are learning we could have a new fully FDA-approved vaccine to use against COVID by the end of the summer.
And as CNN's Britt Conway reports, medical experts say it could get us one step closer to a vaccine for kids.
It's full speed ahead to get full FDA approval for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. And sources told the New York Times it could happen as soon as Labor Day. But time is working against them. Less than half of the population is fully vaccinated, and we're averaging more than 85,000 new cases a day. The hope is final approval will motivate more people to get vaccinated. It's also expected to prompt more vaccine mandates, and it could accelerate the approval process for vaccines for kids under 12.
When you have an EUA for the vaccine that then goes to a full approval, that might have an influence on what goes on. We're collecting the data right now for what we need to make that determination.
Until then, more children and teens are getting COVID. Nearly 72,000 got it between July 22nd and the 29th, a substantial increase from 39,000 cases the week before. A new study shows long-term symptoms are less common for children than adults, but kids can have persistent symptoms, or worse.
This variant is capable of causing serious illness in children.
And some experts worry even a quick FDA approval might come too late.
At the rate they're going, it might be a moot point by the time they actually get it licensed, because you could have variants generated that then now escape the vaccines.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Now to startling video out of a Frontier Airlines flight. The behavior of a 22-year-old passenger got so out of hand that flight attendants had to use duct tape to restrain the man to a chair. Take a look. Maxwell Berry, 22 years old, arrested on 3 counts of battery after causing a violent scene on a Frontier Airlines flight to Miami. Miami-Dade police say Berry had a few alcoholic drinks, then groped 2 female flight attendants, punched another flight attendant, and obviously this prompted crew members to respond. They had to subdue him. Frontier Airlines says they are supporting the flight attendants who are now on paid leave during the investigation.
Americans apparently spent lots of time shopping during the COVID-19 pandemic. The U.S. household debt jumped to $15 trillion last quarter. That's the biggest quarterly hike since 2007 and the largest percentage increase in nearly 8 years. Credit card balances increased by $17 billion during the second quarter, while auto loan balances rose by $33 billion. Mortgage debt jumped to $10.4 trillion. Student loans were the only debt category that saw a decline last quarter.
And a new study in Texas shows that many nurses are burned out, tired, and deciding to leave the nursing profession. A study by the Texas Center for Nursing Workforce Studies showed Texas was 27,000 nurses short in 2019. That number projected to be 57,000 nurses short by 2032. The nation already facing a nationwide shortage, and with that increase in demand for nurses before the pandemic, well, a shortage in staffing at nurses' schools also contributing to the delay in training new nurses. Hospital leaders now trying to give their nurses as much a break as possible.
Certainly our staff are exhausted, at times overwhelmed, I'm sure frustrated. I think they're determined to get through this, and we've kind of been down this road a year ago.
I think, many nurses are deciding that they can't any longer do this. So, and that's a grave concern. If there aren't adequate staff, patients will not have optimal outcomes.
As an incentive, some hospitals are offering bonuses to nurses. Some nurses are instead opting to become traveling nurses, where they can get paid much more in certain cases. Time now is 5:38, 75 degrees out.
And still ahead, how McDonald's is using new methods and special benefits to lure employees back to work.
And here at home, taking a live look out at the Alamo City, 75 degrees to start your Wednesday morning. For a lot of kids out there, this is the last week before heading back to school. We're going to check in with Justin Horn, see how much summer they can enjoy before they're back in the classroom.
And welcome back. It's about 5:41. In your morning consumer headlines, Royal Caribbean says its complete lineup of ships will be sailing by spring of 2022. The cruise line will require all crew members and guests to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and it will strongly recommend vaccinations for travelers sailing from Florida. Children under the vaccine eligibility age will have to be tested and follow other health and safety measures. Royal Caribbean says 110,000 guests have safely cruised with the company since December.
And Spirit Airlines continues to face significant disruptions. USA Today reporting the airline has already canceled nearly 200 flights today alone. Many more canceled over the past few days, according to flight tracker FlightAware. That's nearly 30% of the scheduled flights. Spirit says the issues actually stem from weather and operational challenges. Spirit's social media account suggests some travelers are still waiting to be rescheduled from this weekend's cancellations.
McDonald's is looking at a new way to get more workers back childcare. It's introducing an emergency childcare program to try and get more parents back into jobs at its restaurants. According to Forbes, the fast food outlet also plans to boost pay, give paid time off, and kick in for tuition costs. For an entry-level person, they would earn around $11 to $17 an hour.
All right, time now is 5:43, 75 degrees out.
A pet needs a new home this morning. We're going to introduce you to this furry friend coming up. Aww.
Well, it is puppy time, and Michelle is here from the Animal Defense League, and oh my goodness gracious, I love how the one ear is sticking up on that little baby. Who is that?
It's kind of like standard setting for her. So this is Triathlon. She is a 2-month-old Labrador mix. She's available for adoption at our Nacogdoches campus, and she's so sweet, so calm, gets along with other dogs. She's amazing. We love her.
Yeah, and with those paws, I'm sure being a lab mix, she's going to be big puppy.
Yeah, so she's going to be medium to large size for sure. We can't, 100% estimate how big she's going to be, but she won't be this small forever, unfortunately.
But still small enough to sit on your lap and right on the couch and take up all that room. So,
absolutely.
And you've got a huge fundraiser coming up here. This sounds really cool.
Yes, we do. So we have our British Rock Nights fundraiser coming up. So it is on August 20th. It is going to be a hosted event and a comedy show from John O'Hurley. He was on Seinfeld. And so all the benefits from that event will proceed the Animal Defense League and a couple other local organizations to help us save more lives.
All right, well, fantastic. And if you'd like more information about that or this little, hi,
yes.
Oh, you just don't know what to think with those little eyes there. Yes, just head on out to the Animal Defense League, 11300 Nacogdoches, or give them a call at 655-1481.
All right, well, COVID can mimic a lot of other things, and pulmonary hypertension might easily be one of those.
So pulmonary hypertension can make life miserable, especially if you don't get a diagnosis. Ursula Perry has that story.
Like the rise in COVID, cases of pulmonary hypertension are rising too. But unlike COVID, a lack of education on the disease is causing some serious concern among medical experts.
People often don't get discovered till very late, when their hearts are already starting to fail.
Young women in their childbearing age or people who have scleroderma, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, or HIV have a higher risk of developing the disease.
Do you?
And when found in men, it's even more deadly. If you have asthma, COPD, or emphysema, or you experience shortness of breath, dizziness, chest pain, swelling in your ankles, legs, and abdomen, and a racing pulse, you may want to get screened for pulmonary hypertension right away.
20 years ago, there was no treatment, and people died from this disease. Now we have over 20 drugs to treat this disease.
Spotting this disease early on can get your health back on track before it's too late. And there are better screening techniques available these days. Because doctors are getting better at diagnosing this type of hypertension, they're also better at getting you treatment before it's too late. And of course, that means that the numbers of those getting better and healthier are rising as well. For Good Morning San Antonio, I'm Ursula Perry.
All right, well, we know a lot of people ready to head out and about, head to work. Not yet school, though.
Yeah, well, not yet. At last look at the TransGuide cameras, things were looking pretty smooth, Stephen.
Right now, these shots that TransGuide do show, pretty smooth here at I-10 at Hildebrand, I-10 at the Y. You know, we got a few more folks that are heading out on their Wednesday morning, as you can see here, getting a little bit busier. But as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the show, when we start to see more people out on the roadways, that's when we really start to encounter some problems. Take a look right here. We do have a crash reported here at Loop 1604 westbound at O'Connor. And although we did show you what looks like it's already getting pretty busy on these shots at TransGuide, traffic's not slowing down there in these westbound lanes of West 1604, that is right at O'Connor, where that crash is reported. Use caution, and remember, when you see those flashing lights, be sure to move over and slow down for those first responders. But overall, it's been pretty quiet, as we've been showing you throughout the morning here on GMSA. But some more construction to be on the lookout for that this weekend. I can't believe we're talking about the weekend already. But some bridge repairs are going to be happening here at the Westwood Loop intersection. That's out near Alamo Ranch Parkway. It's going to be happening this Friday from August 5th up until Monday, August 9th, 10 in the evening to 5 in the morning. So something for your weekend commuters to be on the lookout for. I'll have to let my sister who lives out there know about that. But taking another look here at TransGuide 37 at Hackberry. Yeah, pretty calm right now. But as again, when we see more people on the roads, that's when those problems start to pop up. But we'll be watching things closely.
All right, we'll be checking back with you. Thank you, Stephen.
It is never too early to talk about the weekend, though.
No, we're always ready. Well, we'll be ready for, I guess, warmer temperatures. For
no rain this weekend, Justin?
No rain this weekend. Okay. No, looks like it'll be hot, dry, good weekend to get out and do outdoor activities, although it is going to be a little toasty. Heat index values could jump up near 100. I will mention that. Hey, most of the summer we've been able to use the radar. That's nice. A lot of summers we don't get to use the radar this much, but here we are again, looking at some showers and a few storms south of San Antonio in Atascosa County. These are little downpours, not going to last that long, but you could get quick, maybe a tenth of an inch out of some of this activity because it's not moving real quickly, but it'll die down or pulse up and then die down pretty quickly. That's all south of Jordan. Mainly over rural areas. And then as we get in San Antonio, Bexar County, I've had a couple of very, very light returns worked the way in the southeastern parts of Bexar County. It's nothing more than a few sprinkles. We do have some chances today, but I don't think we're going to see much in the way during your morning commute. So all looks pretty dry this morning. Go ahead and grab the umbrella, though, just in case for this afternoon. Even around lunchtime thereafter, we could see some showers or downpours pop up. Did have one little shower west of Uvalde, crossing Highway 90. That's gone. Again, these just aren't lasting too long. But overnight, we did get some good rain across parts of Karnes County, stretching over to Atascosa County. Look at some of these estimated rainfall totals, and I know it's kind of hard there to see on your screen, but 3 to 4 inches estimated by the radar. That was just north of Kennedy, near the Falls City area, and then stretching back over to Highway or Interstate 37, I should say. So it is. It's been busy right along that frontal boundary that we've been talking about. That's sort of sitting south of San Antonio, right there, and that's where our best chance for rain will be, right along that boundary, even into the afternoon. It's not to say we couldn't see some showers and storms here in San Antonio, but your higher chances will be south of Interstate 10 and Highway 90. Here's a bigger picture across Texas, and you'll notice we've got some showers out in New Mexico, too. That's an upper-level storm system moving in. A couple things at play tomorrow. That slides southeast. We got another little area of low pressure coming up from Mexico. These two things coming together should help to enhance our rain chances tomorrow. So that's what we have to look forward to on Thursday. Right now, just a little bit of cloud cover out there. 76, calm winds, dew point is at 72. And most everyone, at least south of the hill country, is in the 70s this morning. Folks up in Kerrville and Comfort enjoying temperatures in the 60s. A little bit drier air up there, and that's helping temperatures to fall off pretty nicely this morning. 76 in Del Rio, 75 Kennedy, where the rain has ended, 77 in Gonzales. And here's what our forecast looks like. So we'll fast forward to 5 o'clock this afternoon. Isolated showers and storms generally south of town. Some good downpours there. Then as we get into tomorrow, notice we start to see maybe a cluster of storms down to the south and west, and then that may push up to the north and east and help to give us some rain here in town. I don't know if it'll play out exactly like that. These models tend to struggle with these kind of conditions, but I do think our rain chances will be at around 40% on your Thursday here in San Antonio. Today, just a 30% chance of rain. Temperatures up around 92 for your high, and then tomorrow, we'll have some temperatures in the 90s as well. 91 on Thursday, 93 Friday, and then rain chances end. Hot and humid weekend, as we talked about. And then for the kids who are going back to school, it'll be hot too, 96 on Monday.
Oh my goodness. Especially like coming out of school in the afternoon.
Yeah, but you know, this time of year,
we expect it.
Summer in San Antonio.
It's pretty typical. We'll see what September brings us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you so much. 550, yeah, we'll say 555 for now. 75 degrees out.
And let's take a look at your winning lotto numbers. We have pick 3, 483, Fireball 0, Daily 4, 8351, Fireball 5.
Cash 5, 2, 8, 17, 33, 34. Mega Millions 1, 9, 17, 27, 34. Big number 24. Megapire 2. Good luck. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we'll have the latest on New York Governor Andrew Cuomo facing growing calls to resign, including from President Biden. That's after that blistering report finding that he sexually harassed 11 women and created a hostile work environment. One of Cuomo's accusers is going to join us this morning. You'll see that and so much more right here on GMA.
And still ahead on GMSA, the latest on an overnight shooting. One woman dead, 2 others in critical condition. Jonathan Cotto staying on top of the story, joining us live with the latest details. Before we head to the break, a live look at the roadways, 5:57 this Wednesday morning. We're going to check in with Stephen Cavazos in just a bit. All right, Silver and Black making big moves in free agency. The team saying goodbye to several veterans. We're going to catch up with everything you need to know when it comes to the new look roster.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're at 75 degrees. Those rain chances are starting to let up. And we're looking to warmer temperatures, especially around the weekend.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. It is August 4th. We got a lot to talk about, but we got to start with the weather.
Yes, we'll start with the weather. Back to school stuff, more for next week.
Save it for later.
We'll save it for later.
Yeah.
The low 90s, they've been great, but things are about to change.
Yeah, we are going to see some mid-90s by the weekend. Good news is we still got a couple more days of this, okay? We're still going to get some low 90s next couple days, and I think our rain chances really pick up as we get into tomorrow. Already seen some rain on the radar this morning. Not much here in San Antonio, but you go south of town into Atascosa County, some showers and a few downpours lining up. If you're watching us from Dilley this morning, some rain there. Some good downpours just within the last 30 minutes or so. These are not going to last very long, but they will put down some decent amounts of rain. Seeing some rain around Victoria and then down on the coast too. Expect the radar to get a little more active this afternoon. And then, as I mentioned, even more chances, better chances coming up tomorrow. Let's look at the scene outside. We've got a few clouds. Temperatures at this hour at the airport checking in at 76. Dew point is at 73. It's a muggy morning, calm winds. And the forecast for today, 20% chance rain through noontime. 86. 92 o'clock. We'll be up around 92 for a high. About a 30% chance rain for us here in San Antonio this afternoon. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll look at the rest of that forecast, including the weekend, coming up here in just a bit. We've also got some stuff trying to brew in the tropics. We'll get you the latest there, but we got to get over to Steven now, who, well, you haven't seen much this morning, right?
Yeah, you know, the shots at TransGuide show pretty quiet morning as we're seeing here at Loop 410 in McCullough. Even now, I mean, with 6 a.m., a little past 6 a.m., we're not seeing as many vehicles out on the roadway, but taking a look here, we do have some issues being reported that we want you to be aware of. This crash right here off Loop 1604 westbound at O'Connor Road. You can see right now it is still very early enough to where these lanes there on 1604 are still staying pretty green, and hopefully that crash does get cleared up pretty soon, but it's been out there for at least an hour now. But again, when you see those flashing lights, move over, slow down for those first responders who are working to make the road safer for you and I. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet here, as you can see on the map. Lots of green here around Loop 410 and 1604. Even though that crash is out there, it is pretty a good time to head out the door here if you're going to grab that cup of coffee. And if you're traveling to downtown San Antonio, we do have things looking pretty good right now. As you can see, the inbound times are looking pretty green. 24 minutes coming in from I-10 and Bernie, and 26 minutes coming in from Bulverde and 281. And you can see here 25 minutes coming in from New Braunfels and Seguin. Pretty green. Max likes to hear that. We got 29 minutes here on I-10. So pretty good start as we're seeing this day picking up. Getting a little bit busier at Loop 410 in Fredericksburg, but we'll be watching things closely. Max and Stephanie.
Stephen Cavazos, thank you so much. New this morning, investigation underway after a triple shooting ends with one woman dead and two men in critical condition.
And Jonathan Cotto joins us live now. And Jonathan, what have you been able to learn about this shooting?
Well, Stephanie, what police are telling us is that woman was shot and found dead upon arrival. All this taking place at around 11:30 last night. Here's a look at what that scene looked like. Police responding to this scene off of Roddy Road near 1604 on the southeast side of Bexar County. That's heading out towards Elmendorf. Police say that woman is believed to have been in her late 20s. They tell us one man was shot in the chest, has been taken to BAMC in critical condition. The other man was shot in the face and was airlifted to BAMC and is also said to be in critical condition. Police say both men are believed to be in their late 20s, early 30s. Elmendorf Police Department, Bexar County Sheriff's Office, along with Wilson County and Arcadian EMS were on scene. Now, Max, Stephanie, police tell us the suspect who is responsible of killing that woman and leaving the other two men hospitalized fled the scene in a black sedan. Of course, the identities of the victims has yet to be released, and this case remains under investigation. We'll keep you updated as more information is made available. Reporting for GSA, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Now to the latest in the punishment phase of the Otis McCain trial. Today, victim impact statements set to take place in the case. There are only two options for the jury. Now, McCain, the man convicted of killing San Antonio police detective Benjamin Marconi, can either be sentenced to death by lethal injection or can be sentenced to life without parole. A San Antonio police officer who worked alongside Detective Marconi and the detective's family, they are scheduled to take the stand beginning at 9 a.m. this morning. The jury will be expected to come to a verdict once all the statements are made and heard. You can continue to keep up with the trial on our live stream. Just head to KSAT.com. In your morning headlines, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, once a rising star in the Democratic Party, now facing growing pressure to resign after an investigation released by New York State Attorney General said he was found to have sexually harassed 11 women.
President Joe Biden and many other lawmakers now taking a stand. ABC's Monica Sar-Abdi has the latest.
This morning, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is facing new calls to resign after a bombshell report into sexual harassment claims against him.
Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women and in doing so violated federal and state law.
Overnight, the governors of 4 Northeast states releasing a joint statement saying they're, quote, appalled at the findings of the independent investigation, adding that Cuomo should resign. Also calling for Cuomo to resign, both New York senators, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and President Joe Biden.
I think he should resign.
The investigation released by New York Attorney General Letitia James found 11 women were telling the truth when they said the governor had touched them inappropriately. In a pre-recorded statement, Cuomo remained defiant.
I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances.
The governor also defended his history of greeting people affectionately, showing pictures of himself kissing people on the cheek.
I actually learned it from my mother and from my father. It is meant to convey warmth, nothing more.
Monica Sar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Now, the latest in the pandemic, new COVID cases across the country averaging more than 85,000 per day, the highest we've seen in months. Cases in children also nearly doubling with 72,000 confirmed just last week. President Joe Biden calling the rise of the Delta variant a largely preventable tragedy that will get worse before it gets better. And as this happens, the list of businesses requiring their employees to get vaccinated also growing by the day.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has issued a new moratorium on evictions that will last until October 3rd. The Biden administration is responding to intensifying criticism that it was allowing vulnerable renters to lose their homes during a pandemic. The new moratorium could help keep millions in their home as the coronavirus's Delta variant has spread and states have been slow to release federal rental aid. It would temporarily halt evictions in counties with substantial and high levels of virus transmissions. And despite school districts laying out plans, some parents may still have questions about their child's health and safety. That's why later this morning, we are hosting a KSAT Community Back to School virtual town hall. We're going to be talking with local educators, doctors, psychologists, and community leaders to answer your questions about what school will look like this fall. So you can head to ksat.com, submit your question there, then tune in online today at 7:30 a.m. to get that answered. This live stream will focus on pre-K through second school grade students, and another live stream on August 11th will focus on middle school and high school students.
And speaking of back to school, as students get ready to return to the classroom this fall, a lot of students in South Texas will start their homeschool programs. One of the hesitations a lot of parents have about starting homeschool for their children is that aspect of less social interaction.
Sarah Costa spoke with a local homeschool resource specialist about the social opportunities for homeschool students. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. And I think that's one of the biggest hesitations parents have. Do I want to take my kids out? Are they still going to have enough social interactions? Well, in Texas, students who are enrolled in homeschool are considered private school students. And just like students in private schools, who have options for extracurricular activities and sports, so do homeschoolers. I spoke with Rose Fallbush, who is a resource specialist for Family Educators Alliance of South Texas, or known as FEAST. She says parents can pick and choose between all of the social interactions or athletics your child participates in. She says it's one of the first questions parents ask is, how can I keep my child social?
Kids get that in homeschooling through clubs, athletics. There are drama clubs. The kids put on productions, and so you find your niche. And there are a lot of abilities for social interactions.
There are also athletics for homeschool students starting in middle school. Through FEAST, homeschool students are able to compete in athletics like baseball, softball, volleyball, football, track, cross country. She also says they are getting golf and swimming going. So there are many resources through FEAST or the Texas Homeschool Coalition that provide social opportunities like field trips, group tutoring, and other social outlets. And coming up in our next half hour, I'll explain how homeschoolers get their diplomas and get college ready. Max and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because that is a big aspect a lot of parents are hesitant about.
Yeah, and it seems like it's growing, though, like people moving towards homeschooling as well.
Sarah had the stat, 300%. It's crazy. All right, 6:10, 75 degrees out.
And NBA free agency continues, and Spurs fans are saying goodbye to some fan favorites.
Aww.
Terrible news. We're going to tell you who's going where.
Plus, a crazy scene from Dodger Stadium. Take a look at that. Have you seen this yet? Jose Altuve with the foul ball right at the lens. We're going to explain next.
Looks expensive.
Yeah.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're at 75 degrees for now. No rain in that shot, but we might have more chance of rain tomorrow. We'll be checking in with Justin soon.
Good morning, welcome back, and go Spurs go. Free agency frenzy continues in the NBA, and after signing 2 new free agents, the Spurs saying goodbye to 3 fan favorite familiar faces. Perhaps the most painful departure, of course, is Patty Mills. Patty endeared himself to more than Spurs fans. He was a team and community leader. Who could forget what he and his wife did for local businesses during the pandemic? Patty has agreed to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Brooklyn Nets. With his departure goes the last member of that 2014 championship squad, same squad that made the 2013 finals. But with one Australian out, another one comes in. Spurs organization signing Australian big man Jock Landale to a 2-year contract, according to The Athletic. He is a 6'11", number 13 big man right here. He is actually playing in the Olympics with Patty Mills. But like we said goodbye to Patty, we also say goodbye to Rudy Gay. He has signed a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Utah Jazz. 34 years old, Gay leaves the Spurs after 4 seasons. I can't believe it's even been that long. And this was one of the big questions for this upcoming offseason. Biggest deal for a lot of the big familiar faces. DeMar DeRozan, he is officially not a Spur anymore. But he's not leaving the Spurs empty-handed. The Chicago Bulls and the Spurs working out a sign-and-trade deal. DeMar will suit up for the Bulls for 3 years, $85 million contract. Chicago send in forwards Thaddeus Young, Al-Farouq Aminu to San Antonio, along with 3 future draft picks. I believe it is a 2025 first round and then 2 second-round picks. DeMar has been playing for the Spurs since 2018. You may remember he was a big piece of that blockbuster trade with Toronto that sent Kawhi to the Raptors. And Early this morning, the wee hours of the San Antonio morning, we are welcoming back a familiar face, Bryn Forbes, once again coming back to San Antonio, fresh off winning that championship with the Bucks. For that, Forbes played for the Spurs from 2016 to 2020. And there you go, from the court to the baseball diamond. Now some San Antonio Missions baseball. After falling behind earlier, the Missions made 2 comeback attempts in the second half of the game, but they fell so short. They dropped the opening game of the series to Corpus Christi at Nelson Wolff Stadium last night. Final score 6-3. The series continues tonight at 7:05. Goes through Sunday. And here you go. Crazy video. Take a look at this. We slow-moed it. Here it is, the majors. That is, boom. Jose Altuve up at bat at Dodger Stadium. All of a sudden, foul ball. Bam, the baseball hits the camera, shattering the lens. You got to feel bad for that cameraman going back. But I'll tell you what. If I'm the cameraman, I'm happy it hit the camera and not me.
This is true. That would hurt. That would hurt.
Crazy, though, because, I mean, we've been out on shoots before, out on stories, and we've seen certain things happen. That ball really has to directly hit the lens.
Yes, it was spot on.
Yeah.
And now we pay for the damage.
There you go. All right, so I MMJ, so, you know, you go out and shoot stuff.
Have you had something like that?
I've had to shoot football games, and there have been some close calls.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we've had some, you know, photojournalists who are, I don't want to say tackled, but who have been moved by, you know, some of the players.
Gotta have quick feet out there.
Yes, you do.
Steven Cavazos used to be an MMJ, out and about. You know the struggles.
Oh, gosh. You know, it's tough. And whenever that does happen, it's the worst moment in the world. It's it's like watching a train just crash. I mean, it's terrible.
It's sort of in slow motion.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's terrible. But you know what? Hopefully that will get repaired. But things are looking good here at 37 at Hackberry as we're getting Wednesdays started. Seeing a few more people out on the roadways from these shots at TransGuide. It looks like traffic is picking up. And as we mentioned, when those moments and we start seeing more people out on the roadways, that's when we really start to spot these issues. And this crash still reported out there at Loop 1604 westbound at O'Connor Road. Thankfully, it's not causing any issues when it comes to traffic. It's still pretty green in those areas, as you can see, and that seems to be the dominant color reflected in these maps. Lots of green here in the Alamo City and some of our neighboring communities, but if you're going to be heading out in the next few moments, and one of the places you need to head to is the gas station, well, we have your gas prices here from AAA. According to AAA, the average gas price in Bexar County is $2.76, a little bit up from yesterday. Around the state, we're looking at $2.84, and the country $3.18. So this is good news for me as well to have this information because I'm heading to the gas station as soon as I get a chance to fuel up my car. But taking a look here at TransGuide Loop 410 at San Pedro, I-37 at Houston Street, getting a few more people out there. Just be careful, guys, because we are starting to spot some of those issues popping up on our maps, but we'll be keeping you updated.
We will be careful. And I guess tomorrow we might have to a little bit more so because of the rain, maybe?
We may be dodging a few more showers and storms tomorrow. You're right. The radar is going to get a little more active on our Thursday, so there's still some more chances for downpours. We didn't get any yesterday. There wasn't a lot out there. We saw some this morning. You have some more chances coming up. Let's look at some of the headlines. And today we'll see some isolated downpours, some better chances of rain, as I mentioned, coming up tomorrow, and then hot and hazy and humid this weekend. That'll be the big story. Temperatures will jump into the mid-90s, and the rain just goes away. So our chances of rain really are, again, today and tomorrow. I want to talk a little bit about some climatology here when we're talking about 100-degree temperatures. Our average first 100-degree day is June 26th. And I know we've showed you this graphic before, but it's worth repeating that we haven't even really sniffed at 100 yet so far this year. Our highest temperatures, 97. The latest we've ever seen a 100-degree day, that would be September 1st, 1985. But the caveat there is that we've had 23 individual years where we haven't had any 100-degree days, 2007 being the last. Could this year be that way? We'll see. So far, still no triple digits in the forecast. And as we look at the radar this morning, we've got a few showers showing up in Atascosa County, stretching over towards Frio County. Nothing that's just terribly heavy, but these are going to be some brief heavy downpours. And we're seeing that around Dilley, although those are starting to die down a little bit. And then also we've had some activity down near Victoria, stretching now down near Port Lavaca. This stuff is heavier closer to the coast, but it's going to stay there. We're not expecting this to move further inland. And I mentioned that we got some heavy rain overnight. Folks in Karnes County picked up an estimated 3 to 4 inches of rain. And they're right along that frontal boundary, and that's why the rain's a little more concentrated down to the south of San Antonio. And I think as we get into the afternoon, you're going to notice that most of the activity, or at least the bulk of it, will be south of I-10. But everybody does at least have a chance for some rain today. Here's the big picture across Texas. We notice we've got some showers off to the north and west. That's a disturbance moving southeast. Another little area of low pressure will move north. And that's why I think rain chances increase tomorrow. Those two things coming together. Outside, 76 at the airport, 78 Stinson, 75 Kelly, and temperatures in the 60s and 70s for the most part. Not a bad morning. 75 in Hondo, 77 out in Del Rio. And the forecast does show isolated showers and storms this afternoon, and then that better chance of rain. I think a little bit more coverage tomorrow. We'll have to watch for some pockets of heavier rain on Thursday. After that, rain chances start to diminish, and we'll see lower rain chances certainly over the weekend. 30% shot today, temperatures around 92. And I do need to touch on the tropics very quickly. A couple little systems out there close to the coast of Africa. So these are way out there in the Atlantic. Just about a 10% chance with this one of development, 20% chance over the next 5 days with this one. And there is still quite a bit of dust, Saharan dust over the Atlantic. It tends to suppress our activity. And so it doesn't look like those will have much success, but we'll keep you posted. 30% chance of rain today, 40% chance tomorrow, 91, 93 on Friday. Just a small chance of an afternoon shower storm, and then hot and humid this weekend, guys.
Back to the higher 90s.
That's right.
Back to summer in San Antonio, Justin Horan. Thanks so much. Time now, 6:22. Only 75 now, though.
Yeah, it's great outside now. And it's a growing trend. More employers requiring vaccines for their employees, including one major tech giant. Details after the break.
Irresistibly delicious, pour some almond breeze for the maestros of the creamiest ever must-have smoothies. It's irresistibly delicious. More almond breeze, please.
It's time to dust yourself off and get back in there. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members can earn on their purchases.
My hygienist cleans with a round head. So does my Oral-B. My hygienist personalizes my cleaning. So does my Oral-B.
Oral-B delivers the wow of a professional clean feel every day.
Ready to shine from the inside out? Try Nature's Bounty Hair, Skin, and Nails Gummies. The #1 brand to support beautiful hair, glowing skin, and healthy nails. And introducing Jelly Beans with 2 times more biotin.
Welcome back in today's tech news. Microsoft, the latest tech giant to mandate vaccinations for their employees. The company's 100,000 U.S. employees, vendors, and visitors will now be required to show proof of vaccinations to enter their buildings. Microsoft's also pushing back its reopening date 1 month to October. There you go. It is just another one of the local U.S. companies that are mandating vaccines.
A lot of changes out there. Time now, 6:26 and about 75 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, the latest on a scary overnight shooting that ended with 1 woman dead, 2 others in critical condition. Jonathan Cotto joining us live with the latest.
An overnight triple shooting has left 1 woman dead and 2 other men fighting for their lives this morning. Details on this case coming up next.
COVID hospitalizations are on the rise, and so are cases in children. I'm Alex Bechet. Coming up, the latest on the mask mandate debate from Washington.
And here at home, taking a live look out of the Alamo City. It looks like the sun is starting to rise out there. 75 degrees to start your Wednesday morning. We're going to check in with Justin Horn for your full forecast in just a few moments.
Hi, good morning. It is Wednesday, August 4th. Thanks so much for joining us today. Starting a little bit, not too bad, in the 70s. It's nice out there right now.
No complaints right now, but it looks like it's going to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And speaking of complaints.
Oh,
yeah.
Killing us with the mold, Justin Horn.
Comments on social media yesterday.
Kind of matches your tie a little bit.
Yeah.
How appropriate.
It does. Yeah, that was a mold number. I'll step out of the way. 17,080 yesterday's number. Now I'm no hourgist, okay? My guess is that this number would come down a little bit, and it has to. Let's hope. I don't want to jinx anything. We'll see what the numbers like today. We get those in about an hour or two. I'll let you know. Otherwise, forecast radar showing that we've got some showers out there right now. These stretch from Frio County over to Atascosa County. These are really pretty light. not going to cause many problems. We're not seeing anything here in San Antonio. The bulk of the action this morning is down here along the coast, seeing some very heavy rain just to the north and east of Rockport. There's still a stationary boundary sitting south of San Antonio. That's where the focus is going to be, I think, for the activity today. But we still have a chance here in town of getting some afternoon downpours. Temperatures, 68 Bernie Stage, 69 Kerrville. Those are some great numbers. 76 Castroville, 78 down in Stinson. A little warmer down there. Here are our rain chances today. 20% through lunchtime, mostly cloudy, 86 at noon. 90 by 2 o'clock, 92 your high temperature, 30% chance of rain today. If you're hoping for some downpours, again, decent chance today, but even better chance coming up tomorrow. We'll look at that forecast coming up in just a bit. But your morning commute is underway. Traffic's picking up. Let's check in with Steven now for the latest there. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Justin. Yeah, definitely picking up here off US 90 at 36. So looking pretty busy right now from the shot at TransGuide. We definitely got a few vehicles both in these east and westbound lanes there at 90, as you can see from this shot at TransGuide. But overall, now that it's getting really busy, we're starting to see some issues that are popping up here. This one that we're going to continue to talk about is still being reported there on the TxDOT website, Loop 1604 westbound at O'Connor. A crash reported out there. As you just saw based on that shot at TransGuide, we're getting the morning really picking up here with that traffic. So we're watching that very closely right now, and thankfully it's not causing any delays in these westbound lanes at 1604. But use some caution. And again, as we like to remind you, when you see those flashing lights, be sure to pull over or move over, that is, and slow down for those first responders who are working to create a safer condition for you. But you can see, yeah, it's been pretty good here overall on our maps. Right now, not very many issues out on the roadway right now, and inbound times looking pretty good on the screen right now. As you can see, pretty green. If you're coming in from any of these areas to the downtown San Antonio area, we got some good commute times for you right now. 29 minutes coming in from I-10 in Seguin. 24, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown there of Lavernia, but nothing too major on 87, and 31 minutes coming in from Floresville. One last look at TransGuide at 36. Just be sure to drive safe, and we'll be watching things closely and have more construction to be on the lookout for coming up here on GMSA. Max, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, right now, investigators searching for the suspect involved in a triple shooting that ended with one woman dead.
Jonathan Cotto is following this story, and he joins us live. Jonathan, what can you tell us about the other victims who are involved?
Well, Stephanie, police tell us there's two men who were also shot. They are in critical condition. They've been taken to the hospital. But here's a look at what that scene looked like earlier today. Now, police responding to this scene off of Roddy Road near 1604 on the southeast side of Bexar County. That's heading out towards Elmendorf. Police say a woman believed to have been in her late 20s was shot and killed around 11:30 last night. They tell us one man was shot in the chest and the other was shot in the face. Both were taken to BAMC in critical condition. Now, police tell us the suspect took off in a black sedan. The victim's identities has not been released, and of course, this case remains under investigation. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Also new this morning, police trying to find the people responsible for stealing caps off fire hydrants, causing streets to flood. This happened just before 4 this morning in a west side neighborhood near West Avenue and Sacramento. That's just west of I-10. SAWS eventually had to turn off the water. No word if the flooding caused any damage to the houses in that area. City officials say our COVID-19 risk level here in Bexar County has now increased to severe. Our 7-day moving average sits at 1,146 new COVID-19 cases. 920 people are in the hospital. 260 patients are in the ICU and 132 are on ventilators. Over 1 million people are fully vaccinated.
All right, it is getting so bad that in just a few hours, a news conference will be held to discuss the current situation here at home. Mayor Ron Nirenberg, Judge Nelson Wolff, and Metro Health will all be on hand to talk about the rising cases. Now, that press conference set to begin at 11 a.m. You can watch it live right here on KSAT 12 and, of course, on KSAT.com.
A new study in Texas shows many nurses are burned out and are leaving the profession. A study by the Texas Center for Nursing Workforce Studies showed Texas was 27,000 nurses short in 2019. That number is projected to be 57,000 by the year 2032. There was already a nationwide shortage and an increase in demand for nurses prior to COVID. Hospital leaders now trying to give their nurses as much relief as possible.
Certainly our staff are exhausted, at times overwhelmed, I'm sure frustrated. I think they're determined to get through this, and we've kind of been down this road a year ago.
I think, many nurses are deciding that they can't any longer do this. So, and that's a grave concern. If there aren't adequate staff, patients will not have optimal outcomes.
Some hospitals are offering bonuses to nurses. Some nurses are instead opting to become traveling nurses, where they can get paid more in some cases.
And the urgency in the battle against the Delta variant intensifying as cases in children skyrocket.
And President Biden is urging businesses to take precautions. ABC's Alex Prochet has the latest from Washington.
This morning, the Delta variant fueling a summer surge of COVID-19 infections across the country. Look at these numbers. 56,000 people are hospitalized with COVID, the most since February. COVID amongst kids on the rise, too. Cases in children have nearly doubled in the last week to 72,000.
The troubling part of this is that we're in early August. And with fall sports and school around the corner, that could be obviously a very potent combination.
In an effort to fight those rising cases, New York City, once the epicenter of COVID, will soon become the first city in the country to require proof of vaccination for a range of indoor activities. President Biden urged private sector businesses to require vaccinations as well.
But I will have their backs and the backs of other private public sector leaders if they take such steps.
The president singled out Florida and Texas, where cases have risen sharply. ABC News has learned that the FDA is planning to give full authorization of the Pfizer vaccine in early September. It's sooner than initially expected and could inspire more Americans to get vaccinated. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
And if you still have some questions about the vaccine, you can actually call into our KSAT community phone bank. We're going to be joined with Dr. Teresa Barton from University Health, set for 5 to 7 this evening. We're going to provide the number to call on KSAT.com and, of course, in our newscast a little later today.
And despite school districts laying out plans, some parents may still have questions about their child's health and safety. That's why later this morning we are hosting a KSAT Community Back to School virtual town hall. We're going to be talking with local educators, doctors, psychologists, and community leaders to answer your questions about what school will look like this fall. So you can head to KSAT.com, submit your question, then tune in online shortly today at 7:30 a.m. to get that question answered. This live stream will focus on pre-K through grade school students. Another live stream on August 11th will focus on middle school and high school students.
And speaking of back to school, do you know that there's a difference between public school at home and homeschooling? There you go. Public school at home is where a student still uses the public school curriculum and the schedule and has teachers who grade them.
So homeschool is where the parents choose their own curriculum, schedule, and they do the teaching and grading. Sarah Costa joins us in the studio to explain how homeschool parents can get their students college ready. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, guys. I think it's pretty daunting for parents. Like, do I have what it takes to make sure my child, if I'm doing homeschool, is ready for college? And one of the big concerns a lot of homeschool parents have is, how can I teach my child high school level physics or chemistry? It's doable through the different resources provided by a local nonprofit that guides homeschool families. Family Educators Alliance of South Texas, or known as FEAST, provides resources. I spoke with Rose Fallbush with a nonprofit who works with families to get their students ready for college and tackle some of those tough subjects. She says there are homeschool co-op teachers that tutor small groups. She says FEAST also provides workshops that get students ready for life after high school.
We have a consultation where it's a workshop, high school planning and beyond. And we tell parents, set them up for either starting a small business where their strengths are, trade school, military, or college.
Students who are homeschooled are considered like private school students. So when they graduate, because their parents are the ones who are responsible for the homeschooling, the parents are the ones who give them the diploma that they've earned and their transcripts. By law, colleges in Texas have to treat homeschoolers as they would any student graduating from public or private school, and so the transcripts are accepted by area colleges. Now, she says a homeschool diploma has just as much weight as a public school or private school diploma. The nonprofit provides other services for students who have completed high school. They offer notarization services for those diplomas and transcripts. If you head to KSAT.com, we have all this information right now on the website about all of your questions you may have about going the homeschool route. Max and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah.
Whew. You have me physics. I was like, nope, not teaching anyone physics. All right.
Yeah, be tough.
641, 75 degrees out.
If these walls could talk, they'd tell you about a musician, a brother, a friend. Instead, I'll do that. I'm Katrina Weber. That story's coming up.
Welcome back. Death came too soon for a local rap artist, but his image continues to live on. It's actually on a mural that greets thousands of people each and every day as they exit a busy highway just north of downtown.
Katrina Weber tells us more about the men behind the artwork near Interstate 35 and San Pedro Avenue. The story of MIG is in this week's If These Walls Could Talk.
This is our cousin right here.
It has been years since Daniel Silva got an up-close look at the messages and the mural on this wall. But he thinks of the man pictured here every day, his baby brother, Miguel.
We were real close. Very protective of him, growing up.
By the time he had grown up, Miguel Silva had made a name for himself. He became a rapper called MIG and member of the popular local group Hooligan Boys.
He was really proud to be from here. So if you listen to his music, you could hear all about, from San Antonio.
Always watched out for everyone. If you needed help with rent or anything like that, he was, first to help you.
Nick Shan knew MIG first as a neighbor, then a best friend. They both lived in the very building near I-35 in San Pedro that now bears his picture. MIG's sudden death, which his family says was an accident, hit hard for a lot of people.
It was very shocking. We did lose somebody really, really big in our family.
Shan came up with a big idea to honor him, and he called on another friend to help.
At the beginning, it was just kind of like a cool challenge, and then it turned into something real deep and everything like that.
The artist known as Banks had less than a day to create an image in his mind, then on the wall.
Yeah, we started about 4 in the morning. Something like that, and I think we needed to be done by noon.
There's no doubt that MIG's death was untimely, but this mural was right on time. It was completed the day of his funeral.
I mean, it really got us in our heart that people would want to put up a mural of him.
Silva and his family were both touched and surprised. It was a gift, he says, in memory of a man who gave them all so much. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Amazing story. And she does all these behind the mural stories.
Yes.
And you can see them all on KSAT.com.
I'm glad that she brings light to the story behind the painting. I see this all the time. It's really close to where we work.
Absolutely. All right. Well, taking a look out at the roadways. Stephen Cavazos, what have you been dealing with this morning?
Well, it's been pretty quiet, I think, and I can't complain about that. I don't think anybody that's going to be heading out in the next few minutes is going to be complaining about the traffic right now. Take a look here at Loop 410 at San Pedro, where you do have a few more vehicles out on the roadway. It's actually looking pretty pink out there in the sky, as you can see, but pretty good so far as we're getting closer to that morning rush hour. But take a look right now. This crash was reported here off Loop 1604 westbound at O'Connor Road. I just checked the TxDOT website. It does look like it has since cleared. Our system still has it out there, but just use some caution out there this morning. It was out there for a little bit, about maybe a little over an hour. So other things we're spotting are stalls. This one here happening off I-35 northbound at Alamo Street. And as we've been telling you throughout the morning, when the morning gets going, that's when the issues start popping up. And thankfully right now, there's not too many of them, but some construction to be on the lookout for, as we'd like to remind you. If you are going to be looking out in the weekend, Alamo Ranch Parkway out there, they're going to be doing some bridge repairs at Westwood Loop intersection. That's going to be happening Friday, August 6th. Should be wrapping up on Monday. That's going to be August 9th. It's going to be an overnight repair. So again, this is going to be happening out in the Alamo Ranch Parkway. Something to keep on your calendar if you drive through that area throughout the weekend. But last look at TransGuide. Justin, I don't know if people are going to need sunblock, sunglasses, umbrella. It's hard to keep up with sometimes.
It's been a mixed bag. You're not wrong. We're going to see the chance for some showers and storms today. So it's not a bad idea to grab your umbrella. You certainly don't need it this morning, at least here in San Antonio. Things are pretty quiet. Temperatures across the state today. This really is kind of a big story. It's statewide. These numbers are all below average. We're talking highs in the 80s out west. You don't see that very often this time of year. 92, the expected high here in San Antonio. The heat index will be in the mid-90s, but it could be so much worse. We're looking at some pretty nice weather, honestly. 24-hour rainfall shows that we did get some rain overnight, a good strip of rain stretching from just south of Pleasanton over towards the Kennedy area. 3 to 4 inches of rain overnight. Thankfully, it didn't cause a lot of flooding. We didn't get much reports in of that nature as far as flooding is concerned. But we will see some more activity today, and any one of these storms could drop some pretty good rain. Noticing some showers down there in Atascosa County, parts of Frio County, and then some heavier rain down along the coast. Here in San Antonio, not seeing much at all. There were a couple of light sprinkles earlier, but those have since sort of fallen apart. Still a little bit of rain around Dilley. Other than that, the radar not revealing a whole lot this morning. But as we have a frontal boundary draped across our southern counties, as that just sort of washes out today, there will be some more chances for showers and storms in that area. Even here in town, we can't rule out some isolated activity. Stephen pointed out the colors there in the sky. Beautiful sunrise underway. And temperatures 76 at the airport, 78 Stinson, 75 Kelly, and you're at 74 at Randolph. There are some 60s on the map. Don't see that too often in August. 68 Comfort, 68 Bernie Stage. So we're off to a great start. Mid 70s, it does get a little bit warmer to even upper 70s down around Cotulla. Looking at the forecast for today, and I changed the models from what I showed you last half hour, but I think it's the same idea. Isolated showers and storms today. This is around 3 o'clock. And then as we get into tomorrow, disturbance rolls up from the south. We get another one coming in from the north. These two things combined enhance our rain chances. Even tomorrow morning to start, we could see some heavier downpours, and then by the afternoon, it becomes more widespread. I'd say about a 40% chance of rain here in San Antonio tomorrow. After that, the rain chance is shut off and temperatures go up. So 92 degrees today, 30% chance of rain generally during the afternoon hours. And then the extended forecast, we're going to go 40% chance of rain tomorrow, 91. Just an outside chance of a storm Friday afternoon. And then it's hot and humid. And it feels really weird to throw in the back to school graphic on there. It feels early, but here we are. Once the kids go back to school, for those who are going back to school Monday, right. Mid-90s, partly cloudy and hot.
Yeah, but it's a good thing you're reminding students, just in case they forgot, because it's starting to feel like summer. And then, no,
already almost
back
over.
to school.
Remember those days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
I'm
fun.
gonna steal what you said at like 4:56 this morning. Comfortable in comfort. 68 degrees.
And comfort. Indeed it is. Beautiful up there.
That's the place to be.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
You got
6:51, 75 degrees out.
And having a good credit score is one of the biggest keys of financial success. Tomorrow on GMSA, we're going to show you how you can keep your credit from dropping.
And one last live look out at the Alamo City before we head to break. Let's see. All right. Not too bad out there. 75 degrees to start. Going to heat up a little bit throughout the morning, throughout the week. We're going to check in with Justin one last time. See you in a little bit.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Roads are looking pretty good right now. If you're going to be heading out in the next few minutes, take a look here at these shots at TransGuide. 37 at Hackberry shows we're off to a little bit of a busier start right now. Great shot here at Loop 410 at McCullough. Let's go ahead and talk about a few issues, though. Stall here at 35 northbound at Alamo Street, still being reported out there. And we see another stall happening right here off Loop 410 eastbound at Palo Alto Road. You see that red there? Looks like our system may have picked that up as a crash. We'll be watching that throughout the morning. But overall, things have been looking pretty good as we're getting the day started. This crash up here off Loop 1604 has since cleared, and things are looking good as far as the inbound times as well if you're driving into the downtown San Antonio area. But Justin, how is the weather looking?
It looks good this morning. We should stay dry. The sun, by the way, coming up right now. And we're going to see mostly cloudy skies, I think, off and on, or at least off and on clouds today. About a 30% chance of rain by the afternoon. We'll be up around 92. Better chances of rain coming up tomorrow. 40% chance before things dry up, guys.
Very good. Don't forget to join us for our Back to School virtual town hall. That's happening at 7:30 a.m. online at ksat.com. See you at 9.